Your life already tells the truth about you. Not the story you tell others, not the plans you carry quietly in your mind, but the silent evidence of how you live each day. The state of your body, the sharpness of your attention, the way you react under pressure, the quality of your relationships, all of it is the result of training. Whether intentional or accidental, you have been training for the life you now inhabit. The warrior understood this long before modern psychology gave it a name. In ancient Japan, there was a saying among swordsmen that no technique ever appears by accident. Every movement in battle is the result of repetition, habit, and conditioning under pressure. Miyamoto Musashi, undefeated in over 60 duels, believed that a man's daily conduct was inseparable from his performance in combat. To him, the way one walked, ate, spoke, and endured discomfort revealed exactly how one would act when steel was drawn. Your life reflects your training because nothing else could produce it. Chapter 1. The Unseen Training. Most people believe training is something they do only when they decide to improve. The samurai knew better. They understood that every moment conditions the mind, whether one is aware of it or not. Distraction trains distraction, comfort trains weakness, hesitation trains delay. Even neglect is a form of practice, repeated daily until it becomes identity. Consider a modern man named Haru, not a warrior, not a monk, just someone living quietly in a crowded city. Haru believed he lacked discipline, that something essential was missing inside him. He blamed his environment, his past, his responsibilities. Yet each morning he reached for his phone before standing, avoided silence, postponed difficult tasks, and filled his evenings with noise. Without realizing it, Haru was training himself to be scattered, restless, and dependent. In Zen teaching, this is not considered a moral failure. It is simply cause and effect. The mind becomes what it repeatedly practices. Musashi wrote that the way of strategy is the way of nature, meaning that results emerge inevitably from conditions. Haru's life was not betraying him. It was reflecting him with complete honesty. Chapter 2. Bushido and Daily Conduct. Bushido, the way of the warrior, was never confined to the battlefield. It governed how one sat, how one spoke, how one treated time and effort. Discipline was not dramatic. It was quiet and repetitive. The samurai did not wait for motivation because motivation was unreliable. They built systems of conduct that functioned regardless of mood. Haru first encountered this idea not through a book, but through exhaustion. One evening, overwhelmed by the weight of his own inconsistency, he sat in silence longer than usual. In that silence, an uncomfortable realization surfaced. His life was not chaotic because the world was difficult. It was chaotic because his days lacked structure. Nothing in his routine demanded presence, restraint, or endurance. In Bushido, restraint was power. A warrior who could not govern himself could never govern a blade. Haru began to see that his search for confidence and clarity was misplaced. Those qualities were not found through affirmation or inspiration. They were earned through alignment between intention and action, repeated without negotiation. Chapter 3. Musashi's Quiet Warning. Miyamoto Musashi warned against relying on techniques divorced from daily life. He believed that a man who trained only when it was convenient would fail when it mattered most. Strategy, in his view, was not something practiced in isolation. It was embodied through how one faced small, ordinary challenges. Neglecting the small was the same as abandoning the large. Haru reflected on this as he observed his own patterns. He avoided physical discomfort, rushed meals, multitasked conversations, and filled empty moments with stimulation. None of these choices seemed significant on their own, but together they formed a training regimen for impatience and weakness. His life outcomes were simply the harvest. The samurai trained presence through repetition, drawing the sword, bowing, breathing, walking, all done with attention. Not to appear disciplined, but to become it. Haru realized that discipline was not something he lacked. It was something he was actively training against. Chapter 4. The First Non-Negotiable. Transformation did not begin with ambition. It began with one small, non-negotiable action. Haru chose silence in the morning. No phone, no noise, no information. Just sitting, breathing, and allowing resistance to surface without escape. It was uncomfortable, even unsettling, but that discomfort was the point. Zen teaches that clarity arises when one stops interfering with the mind. The samurai used stillness to sharpen awareness. In those early mornings, Haru began to notice how quickly his thoughts sought distraction. He saw impatience, anxiety, and avoidance clearly for the first time. This was not failure. It was exposure. That single practice did not change his life immediately, but it changed his training. Each day he returned to the same silence, reinforcing a different identity. Not someone seeking control, but someone willing to endure awareness. The warrior path always begins here. Chapter 5. Elimination before addition. Modern thinking encourages adding habits, tools, and goals. Samurai philosophy begins with removal. Remove excess speech. Remove unnecessary movement. Remove indulgence. What remains is strength. Musashi advised cutting away what is not essential until action becomes direct and unconflicted. Haru applied this principle slowly. He reduced choices instead of expanding them. Fixed times for waking and sleeping. Simple meals eaten without distraction. Fewer words spoken, fewer explanations offered. Each elimination reduced internal friction. Life became quieter, but also heavier with responsibility. This was the cost of clarity. Without distraction, excuses became visible. Without noise, discomfort had nowhere to hide. Yet in this stripped-down routine, Haru felt something unfamiliar: stability. His days no longer argued with him. They reflected him. Chapter 6. Identity through repetition. The samurai did not define themselves through emotion or self-concept. Identity emerged from action repeated under pressure. A warrior was someone who trained when no one watched. Zen monks called this practice realization, meaning the act itself was the proof. Weeks passed, then months. Haru no longer asked if he felt disciplined. He simply followed the structure he had built. Silence in the morning, focused work without multitasking, physical exertion without entertainment, rest without guilt. These were not dramatic changes, but they were absolute. His life began to respond. Decisions required less effort. Anxiety lost its grip. Confidence appeared quietly, not as bravado, but as trust in his own consistency. The training was working because it was honest. Chapter 7. The Reflection. One evening, Haru noticed something subtle. A problem arose that would have previously unsettled him. Instead, he remained calm. Not because he forced it, but because calm had been practiced. This was the samurai's secret. You do not rise to the occasion. You fall to your training. Your life reflects your training because it cannot do otherwise. If your days are scattered, your training is scattered. If your mind is restless, your training rewards restlessness. If your life feels shallow, your training avoids depth. The mirror is precise and unforgiving. The warrior does not curse the mirror. He adjusts the training. Conclusion: the way forward. Ancient Japanese philosophy offers no shortcuts, only clarity. You are not broken, unlucky, or lacking potential. You are simply living the results of repeated actions, chosen or ignored. This is not a judgment. It is an opportunity. Train what you wish to become, in silence, in repetition, in small, non-negotiable acts that shape identity without announcement. The samurai understood that mastery is quiet and inevitable when the training is correct. Your life will change when your training does. Until then, it will continue to tell the truth.